all my kinfolk that I'm a legend. Only blowing big smoke with all of my brethren. Oh baby, she an info, she came to my section. The way she move that body, oh my God, it's a blessing. Come on, let's go, we on the road. It ain't no need to fight.
Welcome back to the Loft 313. I'm your host, Felix, a.k.a. Felix the Don, a.k.a. Top 2 and Not 2. We got a special episode for y'all today. Y'all know we've been rocking with LegaSea Cannabis a lot, so we're going to get these episodes where we're shooting, off-site, where we're going and meeting up with some super dope people and, really having some good conversations. So today, I want to welcome 4-time Stanley Cup champion and cannabis activist, enthusiast, and connoisseur, Darren Mccarty. How you doing today, brother?
Honored to be here, Felix. Thanks for having me. And anytime we get to sit down and talk about cannabis, I'm all for it.
Hell yeah! So we gonna get to the cannabis side, but some of my viewers probably don't know who you are. So I want to get into a little bit of the nitty gritty first, and then we're gonna talk about what you're doing on the cannabis side. So we just gonna kick it straight off. So you're an ex hockey player. You played in the NHL. So tell me, how'd your journey start with playing hockey?
Absolutely. So my name's Darren Mccarty, and I consider myself Detroit's favorite stepchild. And even Michigan. Why do I say that? Because I'm from Leamington, Ontario. Give or take, for reference, the house I grew up in, 10 minutes to get over the border from Canada. My house was 40 minutes to Joe Louis Arena. Okay. So I grew up playing sports over here. Tigers won in '84 when I was 12, and I always wanted the Detroit Red Wings, unfortunately, back in the late 70s, early 80s when I was growing up. They were the Dead Wings. They sucked, but we could beat the crap out of everybody. So I loved the Bob Probers and the Joey Koshers and the guys like that. And so I'm sitting here living my lifelong dream of being drafted by the team that I grew up watching and being able to play 15 years and win 4 Stanley Cups. So I'm very grateful for the hockey career and the childhood dream that I lived through. But, again, I'm one of the people that believes that life's stages of life and stuff like this. And I'm forever grateful for what I've accomplished and what I've done. But, where I'm at now, it's miles away from being that professional hockey player. I retired in '09, so 16 years ago now, yeah. And it seems like yesterday.
Okay, I got you. And then when was that first, when did you realize, I'm actually really good at this?
So I was never the most talented. In fact, if anybody ever watches me skate, it was more running on the ice, and it was I was always the kid that was told why I wouldn't be able to do things. And if you are like me, maybe that's motivation to me, because when you tell me I can't do something, I'm the only one who will determine that. So exactly. A lot of my life's been shoving it up people's asses. So I got drafted late, but I would say, to answer your question, my last year in junior hockey, which is the OHL, Ontario Hockey League, you might have heard of the Flint Firebirds or the Saginaw Spirit and stuff like that. So it's where NHL players get drafted from. The last year in that league in had I won Player of the Year, scored 55 goals. Nice. So I thought by then is that I had what it took, but I've always believed I had what it took. For me, it wasn't gonna score goals, even though I scored a lot of goals in junior. It was protecting my teammates and playing physical. And see, I had a secret, right? Growing up as a Red Wing fan, I knew the role that I needed to play my whole life. Ever since I was a kid. Bob Probert's the heavyweight champion. Joey Kosher's his right hand, but they needed a guy like me, the third wheel, to keep the gnats off the big guys. Are you old enough to remember the Kibbles and Bits commercial where that little dog, hey Spike, jumping up and down? That was me. So I think that the greatest thing that God, has provided me, whatever, is the clarity of determination and to accomplish whatever I put my mind to. Now it's up to me to figure out now at 52 years of age, what's the positive. Yeah. Right. So guys, that's where the wisdom comes in. So to be sitting here with you, Felix, right now, chatting about, where we've come from, what's going on and stuff like this, to me, that's what Detroit's all about. And
Hell yeah.
to all your fans and all the people here, whether you know who Darren McCarty is or this is the first time, you know, I'm just one of you guys. Just love this city to death. You know, it's always the one thing I tell people about Detroit is it doesn't matter where you come from. If you love this city, it will love you back. And I'm
1000%.
forever grateful for that.
And you can tell that even now with like the sports teams that we have, like Jared Goff is a key example of that, where he's a California kid, you know, and they embrace him so much here. So I know you feel that love and that energy. And I feel it too. The first time we met was in 2019, you know, at Live in Ferndale.
Yeah.
And even then, when I didn't know who you were, you came in the store and everybody was, you know, they were mesmerized. They wanted to meet you. It was a cool experience to see like how much love you can get, even at that time, probably being 10 years after retirement, you know.
It blows me away. It blows me. But the thing that I cherish, and I know that it's different, and I have maybe like a secret part, that I have a relationship with everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's got either a D-Max story, because granted, if you were around back in the 90s, 2000, whatever, I was the one that you could see, touch. Like like you said, I'm as much of the city out and about, you know, doing things. You'll see if you're going to run into somebody, you would run into me. But not only city history, but history with your families.
Yeah.
You know, the best part now, right, as we make this next step in this next journey, is that all the 5 and 10-year-olds back in '97, right, when we won our first cup, are now adult, like in their 30s. They're married. They got kids. Life's different. Now these conversations as men that we can have, but you know, it's sort of, I always look at it like, you know, I'm just Uncle Darren. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm your favorite uncle that's going to tell you straight how it is.
Exactly. I feel that 100%. Well, it's nice having you here, man, and just being able to have a conversation with you and learning about your journey. So tell us a little bit about your first Stanley Cup. Like, how was that experience? Give us the rundown of what that first championship was.
Well, you know, because if anybody goes back, all the success that I've had in my life is through failure. Right. So if we take it back to my first year, 93, 94, and when I came on the Detroit Red Wings, they were on the precipice of supposed to be, you know, Stanley Cup contenders and stuff. It was like early 90s, real thing. We won the President Trophy my first year, which is best team in the league, but lost in the first round. Then the next year we got to the finals, lost in the finals to Jersey. Then the next year we set the league record with 62 wins out of 80 games, and we lose to Colorado in Game 6 of the conference finals, where Chris Draper, my best friend, centerman of the grind line, gets hit from behind, breaks his face. Claude Lemieux, who's the biggest villain, doesn't apologize, hence leads another year to March 26, 97, which is fight night at the Joe, where I got revenge on Lemieux and scored the overtime goal, and that catapulted us 3 months later to beat Philadelphia in the finals, where I was fortunate enough to score the Stanley Cup clinching goal. Nice. Now, if you've ever seen a one-on-one, is when it's you and the defenseman, and I deked around him and I deked out the goalie and I scored on a move that I had no business making. So I always tell everybody is that life is about timing, and if you put it out in the universe that you wish, be ready for it, because it's going to come as a fleck, but it's for you. So to be able to capitalize on that situation, and to have a Stanley Cup clinching goal in my back pocket. But I think the gravity is to be somebody to execute through a plan since I was 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all I've ever wanted to do. And I always, since Steve Yzerman became a Detroit Red Wing in 1983, I was 11 years old. I knew the role that I needed to play on this team, and to have it come to fruition tells me that you can accomplish anything you want in this life. It's about just priorities, and are you willing to do whatever it takes?
Yeah, that's really what it boils down to. Like, are you willing to like you said, do whatever it takes, you know, the extra hours it takes of, you know, preparation, and just being relentless in like what you want to do and where you want to be and where you want to go is,
you know, what
super
it is?
important.
It's priorities.
Yep.
And it's priorities, and it's sacrifice. It's what are you willing, not what are you willing to do, what are you willing to give up? Yeah. What are you willing to walk away from? Right? as I say, I got 4 Stanley Cups, but I missed all my proms. I missed all my, growing up with my buddies and my friends. It was a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I missed out on a lot of stuff like that. But again, what are you willing to sacrifice to get to the end goal? So I always look at that. As you get older, sometimes it gets harder, but that's why it's about, at the end of the day, who you surround yourself with. And really, like, this journey, for me, the greatest accomplishments haven't been individually. It's been in a team. I am team oriented, right? I am, to play a role in whatever team. So now that's the mentality I've taken from the ice and from that championships that I've won in the culture with the Detroit Red Wings and everything like that, and brought it over into my career now and into the relationships as we get into the partnership with the Darren Mccarty brand powered by LegaSea Cannabis. There's no difference. It's all about who you surround yourself with. So sometimes it takes a long time.
Yeah. Sometimes
Like, if anybody knows my story, it's, and I don't mean to jump topics, but I've had to be out of the cannabis game for like 3 years to get it right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you understand, because you work and live in this business, but it's like, it has to be done right in order for it to be successful.
1000%.
Like I said earlier, in my hockey career, we lost. And you go back to the OGs that were around and you ask them, there's a lot of them that they're going to be honest and I never thought the Red Wings were going to win. So it just goes to show you that there is perseverance and everything else. So we were able to win that cup, and then we were able to go back to back and win 97 and 98. And anybody who remembers the 98 run, how old were you in 97?
I was 1.
Dude, that's awesome.
Was 1.
But so as you got older, whatever, you heard the story. So think about this too, right? The highest of highs from winning the cup and stuff like this. And then 3 days later, there's a horrific limousine accident that we lose our best defenseman, Vladimir Konstantinov.
Okay, yeah. I have
Right?
heard of that,
And
yeah.
so that next season, without our top defenseman, to be able to go and win the cup, we call it the Believe year.
Yeah.
Right? But it's one of those things that is bigger than you are, right?
Yeah.
So for everybody else. So was able to win that one then. In 02, we had the Hall of Fame team with the Brett Hulls and Luke Robitaille and Dominic Hassicks, and we were supposed to win, and we did. And I'll tell you, that's a flex in itself, right? When you're the top dog or the expectations and you're able to do it, that's a flex too. And then for me, I think that, this was a great start with my cannabis jerseys. I won my last cup in 2008. And anybody that knows me knows that Darren Mccarty is an alcoholic insomniac. Right. So I've battled the bottle for all my life. And I was the type, if you can relate to this, I was the type that I've gone 10 years sober. I've gone 6 years. Like, I can go dry. But it wasn't until, because I won a cup in 08 and then I retired after in 09. My body was done. It was done. And then I got lost in my addiction for like 6 years. And by the grace of God and by this plant, saved my life.
Oh yeah, man, that's what I love to hear, and I feel like that story is, it rings true with a lot of people in this industry and people who just consume on a daily basis. Like, I feel like as much as it's looked like as a gateway drug, I feel like it also can pull you away from.
It's an exit strategy, bro. It ain't a gateway drug.
Yeah.
It's an exit strategy
100%.
that I will live and die with 100,000,000% because. And it's education, and it leads into where we're at today. But to me, Rick Simpson oil, RSO, right? So the reason with alcohol is whatever, you can't quit cold turkey because you'll die. It's poison, right? You got to wean off, detox to whatever else. I'd been mentally and spiritually ready to stop for years, but could never physically break that addiction until I did a 7.5 day detox of RSO in my garage. My wife's a nurse, 10 to 15 grams a day.
Oh
And on the 7th day, halfway through, like, so I'm either shitting, puking, or out. But after that after that week, and shout out to my boy over the moon, Damien DeStefano, because he was around for then. Is I got up and that physical addiction was gone. Yeah. I got on my knees and I was in tears. I was so grateful. Then I got mad. Then I got mad. And that's what it's like. My sobriety date, as you can see, is 11/11/15, just past 9 years. But I got mad for exactly what you said, that this is a medicine. It is an exit strategy for some of us who have no hope.
Yeah. 100%.
Right. And I think that when you asked me before, am I an advocate? Am I a connoisseur? Am I, I'm all plant, whatever it is. But my advocacy to people to have an option, right? Like, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm offering you, because I didn't know growing up as an athlete, I had an option.
Yeah.
I'm good buddies with Ricky Williams, the football player that walked away from the game or whatever. And when you sit down, and the respect I have for him is because he knew that this plant was greater than even his professional career, because it was life, right? It was life. And it's for those people that if you don't think you have an option, right, then I'm telling you, let's have a conversation. And that's as simple as that.
100%.
I mean, dude, I have millions of friends that drink, millions of friends. Do you, bro? I'm going to sit over here. I'm going to do me. And if you want to know how did I get to here, well, my caffeine, nicotine, and cannabis. There you go. That's the T-Max.
And I don't know if y'all realize, for people who don't know what RSO is, 15 grams of RSO is insane. Like, he getting high, just so y'all know.
Oh, no, it's ridiculous because a gram will knock you on your ass.
Oh,
that just shows you the tolerance to build, but also to the power of Rick Simpson oil too, right? And we've seen the studies on. I've witnessed friends with skin cancer. I've witnessed this is the powerful drug. And what is Rick Simpson oil? It's a plant, boom, in its concentrated form. And the irony, how do you make it? With alcohol, right? So the thing that kills me saved me. It's fucking wild.
It's
and
crazy.
Isn't it crazy like that? But so again, and then where we're at in 2025, because the best part for me, you can't argue with me. I got studies. I got papers. You know what I mean? But I'm the guy you stick in front of the person that wants to argue. Yeah. Because I'm living proof that this plant, right? And so in that compassion and the caregiver, right? And this is Darren Mccarty talking, perspective in the cannabis business is there's two types of people. There's the money, then the compassion, and then there's the compassion, and then the money. I'm a compassion, then the dollar person. I try to surround myself with those people. I try to let people know who is like us, who is like me, who's doing it that cares. I don't begrudge the money people.
Yeah.
But do your thing and go over there with your friends. And all you money people, go do your thing and don't get involved and let us continue to help. However the beauty of this plan is however you want to use it. If you just, right? But ultimately, you're medicating yourself.
100%.
Right? So that's the whole thing. And in doing that, you know this, we all know this, as the consumer, and as people get more educated themselves, as every day goes by, people walk into your store, walk into whatever, they're educating themselves. You look at the person that walked in there 3 years ago that didn't know what a sativa was or didn't know what they were looking for, and now they're busting your ass on something like this because this 27% ain't 27. No, I know it, bro. It's only about like 23, man, with this cannabinoid here and whatever like this. And they got the fire. And you're sitting here going, God bless.
Yeah.
God bless, because at the end of the day, you're in charge of yourself. And it's just that option. And there's so many different ways, right?
There's a lot of different ways.
Like so many different ways. Like that's the beauty of this plant is if you want to invest in yourself and get educated, right? There's so many different ways to apply. You never have to smoke this plant to get the benefits of it. And I think that that's there's a lot of stigmas, but I think that the education, and especially in this state, right? People are smarter, so don't freaking treat them stupid.
Yeah.
That's what I hate. Like, don't try, like, look on your shelves. Look at all the shelves, because I go into dispensaries every day, right? And I look at the quality, and it's going up because the consumer, you know, you ain't buffing off those shake pre-rolls for you know what I'm saying? Like, the pre-rolls actually burn, like, respect, because I get a pre-roll and I feel like it burns well, and everybody's up their game. And that's what I love also, because at the end of the day, it's the consumer that benefits.
So yeah, it is nice that people are being more educated now, and you can, like you said, like somebody who's come in the store years ago, having them come in and knowing exactly what they're looking for, and you know what helps them is, you know, that makes me feel accomplished. Like, me and my staff did our job. You know what I mean?
100%. Or my favorite thing, which I love, having a relationships with your bud tenders.
Yeah.
You know which one? Because all you need to do once you build like a relationship where they know you is you walk in. What are you smoking on, bro? That's my first questions. What do you? There's certain like I'm like, oh wait, and I'll be like, bro, what are you smoking? Oh, best stuff. Like there's so many different conversations to what you get there, and what I love too, right? And no matter where they are, is the eclecticness of age, of race, it doesn't matter. It covers the gamut. When I'm standing in line or whatever, I'm like, this is my world.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see, like you said, it doesn't matter the age, the religious, it doesn't matter religious background, it doesn't matter none of that. And there's a lot of people benefiting from this, and I love to see it every day, because some people who just, you know, like you said, didn't know, or they were too afraid because they didn't like, I probably can't handle it, but there's something for everybody. And like you said, the most important piece is you don't have to smoke it.
No.
Like, you don't have to smoke weed or cannabis just
Dude, I'll tell you
the benefits, which is beautiful.
Like, it ain't about, and here's the thing, is like, you know, I created the Darren Mccarty brand, so I don't have an excuse as an addict, so I can get my product like I create it for myself as an insomniac, you know, alcoholic, right? So I would say, but you got to find, like I always say, don't tell me what, tell me who, because who grows it, who produces it, that's what you need to look into, because we all have an endocannabinoid system, right? This plant specifically feeds, but it's different. So my system feeds different than your system and stuff like this. But the beauty, and you brought this together, so not only medicinally, but this plant brings everybody together. My favorite is everybody, and it's a social aspect too, which is huge part of it, because we get to have conversations when you're sitting around smoking circle or whatever like that. There's a spirituality to it.
Yeah, it was like I was saying earlier when like I told somebody we were interviewing you today, and they're just like, how do you get tied in with all these people? It's like, man, cannabis. It brings people together. Like, I'm a 28-year-old rapper from Detroit. You know, I sell cannabis for a living, and you're a 52-year-old ex-hockey player, and you're now selling cannabis for a living, and now we're sitting down having a conversation.
Dude.
Like, it's so beautiful how it brings people together.
Right, and it is, and then you dig a little deeper, and it's like just a couple guys that love this city and just you know, try to do their own thing to be positive.
Yeah, like
influences in the city.
You would never know, like, seeing us on the street, that we have like those same passions and those things in common, but we can sit down and really embrace each other and have a conversation.
Which lets you guys know out there, you know, you can do it too.
You can do it too. All right. So let's move into we already started talking about the cannabis stuff a little bit. So we already talked about kind of how it's helped you, how it's shaped you. My first question for you, what's your favorite way to consume? How do you consume?
I smoke. Like if I have a choice, I'm smoking blunts, White Owl sweets. I buy boxes every week, but and I can roll joints. Like it took me 10 years to roll, but I can roll a good joint like that we could smoke together, whatever like that. But me, I'm usually like, and I'm like rolling blunts and smoking blunts and whatever. Like I usually have my own blunt going.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
If there's something else going around, but yeah, I mean, and that's just me personally. I always have like, and I don't know how much I hit them, but I got like 4 pens on me at all time. You know, like I did, but it's more of an. I don't know if people can relate to this. It's more of a security blanket. It's more. I don't need to like. I'll go weeks. I won't hit them.
Yeah,
but they're in my pocket. Like I know I have it. Like you know what I mean? Saying like that's the biggest thing is to always have the product. Like
yeah, that's on the same.
I believe in the RSO so much. As far as the shot, I think everybody should have a gram of RSO in their freezer because you're gonna have 2 days a year where you're just gonna go, you know, I saw Trick Love Trick, and I saw him quote something that like a rash decision takes you 2.3 seconds to make a decision that'll change your life, right? So the RSO to me is also twice a year. It's in my freezer that if I'm having that day, boom. I'll go shut her down. I'll go shut the system down and start again tomorrow. Yeah. Right? Like the different stuff. There's so many different things and different avenues with this plant, but that's where it like starts. I'm an edible guy. Like, so you got to understand too, when you fry your system, so I nuke my system, right? My endocannabinoid system, 15 grams for 7, whatever like this. So my edible intake on a daily basis is like Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000. I start my day with 400 to 600 milligrams of 1-to-1, right? Which shout out there if you're looking for the one that works best for me are the Juanas. Yeah. Strawberry lemonade Juanas.
Shout out Juana.
Right. There's so many wilds are great too for getting into them. I start everybody off on pot dots.
Okay.
Because you got 1 milligram. Yeah. Like, dude, I know I can count 100 people that I got onto cannabis starting with pot dots. Nice. So I'll consume I'll consume it anyway. But to answer your question, smoking blunts is my favorite.
Yeah, same. I'm a backwood and I'm a backwood kind of guy, but I do smoke joints and shit too. But yeah, smoking is definitely it's like the process for me too. Like, you know, washing the wood, pause, and rolling up, smoking. Like that whole process is just like it's like sacred to me. You feel
100%. Yeah. It's a spirit. There's a spirituality to it, especially when you're like I like smoking backwoods too, but I ain't rolling them. Dude,
I can roll a mean backwood. I can roll. But that's it.
Backwood. But you know what? Like so, it's all and it's a conversation. To me, also too is so. My biggest, what I like the best in breaking up the touch is huge for me, and the breakup and whatever when it not I can't smell that well. That's from past discretions, right? So to me, it's like breaking it up and seeing how it is, and you can tell levels.
You can
different things by holder. So I think that's a big thing too, unless you know where it's coming from. You know, like there's, I mean, don't get me twisted, dude. There's a lot of good pre-rolls that I enjoy out there that I will seek after. That is already rolled, but again, don't tell me what, tell me who.
Exactly. So, what would you say is one of your or a few of your like favorite strains? What do you like to smoke on?
The end all be all number one is pre 98 Bubba.
Okay.
Pre 98 Bubba Kush. Any Bubba Kush, this system rock and rolls. Like it's like you find me anybody out there, any old school straight like Bubba, Kosher Kush, Tahoe OG. I love all the sour, the 02 sour diesel, Death Star. Yeah. Some of the I'm more like the old school.
Yeah, I could tell. You talk about diesel and Kush and OG.
100%. Like, I know the Runts is a craze and Runts is a great cross, but I'm not a big Runts fan. Cookies, like I like cookies, but my boy's a Cookie Monster. I'm not as much of a Cookie Monster. You know what I mean? I love Girl Scout cookies. Don't get me wrong, but I'd rather smoke a gelato or a gelato fucking 33 or like I need gas.
You need gas.
I need gas. I need gas in the tank, or like it's gotta be. See, the big thing is like, which educate myself is the cannabinoid profile.
Yeah,
because you can get so much, like that's when you get into the G's and stuff like this is the medicinal compound, because as we know, it ain't about the THC. Yeah, that's great, but it's about that wholesome. Like I always find the THC level, if the cannabinoids can get into the high 20s, but the THC levels in the mid to low 20s, that's a fucking monster smoke, bro.
Monster,
because of what else it's got in there. And I mean, what do we always talk about? 10 or 11 of the cannabinoids in a 400 and something cannabinoid. You know what I mean? So there's shit working for you that you don't even
know.
That's why they say, don't tell me what, tell me who, and then what strain. And the LegaSea and the Darren Mccarty powered by LegaSea, my favorite strain is Sherb Cream Pie.
That shit is fire. If
that shit is fucking
if you haven't tried the Sherb Cream Pie by LegaSea, it's fire. You can get it at Live Cannabis. We got it at the Westland store. Wherever you can find that shit, it's gas. It's got that gassy taste to it. It breaks down nice. It's smooth.
And it doesn't blow your doors off.
Yeah.
That's what I like too. That's a fucking great day. Have you tried the egg roll too? Because the egg rolls,
I haven't tried the egg roll.
Chem Cross, which I like, Chem Dog, Trainwreck, all the anything old school, dude. I'm like, and you know what pisses me off? You know what really pisses me off?
What?
You're in Michigan. What would you say the Michigan strain known around is?
The Michigan strain. I mean, it was glue for a while.
There it is.
Yeah, it was glue for a while.
Right, Gorilla Glue number 4.
Would
you not say that is? When you say, oh, that's Michigan. Like, nobody else could claim that. So why the fuck is there nobody growing? Like, there's two people growing Gorilla Glue 4.
And that's why I said it was glue for a while, but you can't even find that shit now. Like, Gorilla Glue number 4, you can't even find it.
Please. For God's sake.
Yeah,
you got to represent the state. But they're like, so there's also, and because I bet you there's cats out there that have never smoked Gorilla Glue number 4.
Yeah, that was
the
shit,
I'm saying?
Man.
So
2014 to like 2018, Gorilla Glue number 4 was fucking killing it. So that's
that's just like the sour diesel from back in the day and all that. Like that, and I think that's what's really important, and especially too with everything, the synergies of why with LegaSea and stuff like that. At the end of the day, like when you ask me about the product. Right? Like, I swear by it. I swear by like how the thing's done from everything else to what goes in. Now it's up to you to tell me which one you like the best.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because I like it, like shit that works. Like at the end of the day, it ain't about. I want you to have the option, and I want you to smoke it because I think I know what I'm talking about, and I know that you'd enjoy it and the quality, and not only the quality but the price point.
Yeah,
is it true? Like, so that's where I said before, compassion, dollar. No, this is like the people's plan and want to get it out the best part, but it's the quality that you stand behind, right? And then you tell me what you like or you don't, right? And then we'll find you your secret, because that's all it is. We're just trying to unlock your system.
1,000%.
I hope all of it comes from mine, but I'm realistic and know that even my system wants other stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you have? How about you? Do you have favors?
Yeah, I do love the Sherb Cream Pie. That shit's fire. Permanent Marker has been a good one for me, depending who you get it from.
Yeah.
So if you get it from the, I think I've had a LegaSea Permanent Marker cross. I've had it from Michigander Fire, which was really good, and then we also had it from High Tech, which was nice. But that one's probably one of my favorites, like right now,
cool.
of like new strains.
Yeah.
But glue was a big one for me, Gorilla Glue #4. I was never really a big Runs fan. I feel like it has a little bit of a piney, kind of like sativa feel to it that makes it. I'm not a sativa guy.
No,
you know,
dude,
your
me
heart,
either.
your heart gets to fluttering and you start feeling sweaty.
The only
and shit.
sativa I can smoke, and I love it, is Ghost Strain Haze.
Yeah,
But it acts like an indica to me.
Yeah, I think what turns me off about most sativas, even like just not even trying it, is that piney smell. Soon as you smell citrus or pine, I'm like, nope, that's gonna give me anxiety. I'm good.
Yeah, and that's the beauty.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'll give everything a try. I have preferences to whatever, but like equal opportunity. And you know what? There's no such thing as bad weed.
Yeah.
You know, one of those. But my boys, like my right hand, whatever like that, is so picky.
Yeah,
I get all the I get all the Tangies and the Super Boofs and all, like you said, all that stuff. It all comes my way.
Yeah.
Especially when we're like testing, doing like testing like judges kits and stuff like that.
I could definitely
we'll be
be
sitting there smoking. He'll just go and throw them all my way.
I could definitely be a weed snob sometimes, for sure. One thing I did forget to mention too, Common Citizen, you know, our parent company grows Gary Payton. That's probably one of my favorite strains too. When like 90% of the time that shit is fire.
Dude, there's one that I love out of Orange Skittles, or I think out of the Common Citizen.
Probably Orange Wedding
dude,
Cake. It's Orange Wedding Cake, probably.
Is that Orange Wedding Cake?
Orange Wedding Cake. That's one that people love.
I'm a
lot
big
too.
orange. So that also too. Like shout out to I was smoking that Sunshine #4 from Heavyweight Heads for a long time, bro. That's my golf strain. Mm-hmm. I love that.
If you haven't had Heavyweight Heads, there's still with Trick and everything,
Yeah.
right? So Trick and Heavyweight Heads, and they got some really fire strains. The Sunshine, the Cream, what is it called?
There's the Sunshine, the Orangutan.
Orangutan, that one's fire.
Willie J. Peso's got the Giraffe Head.
Yeah, I haven't tried Giraffe Head
which
yet.
is a
And shout out Willie J. Willie J was on the show too, man.
Yeah, shout out Willie J, bud.
Hell yeah. But they got some fire over at Heavyweight Heads too. We haven't had Heavyweight Heads in a minute, but I think we are going to be bringing them back in.
Yeah, that's one that reminds me of been smoking for a long time.
Yeah. So we're talking brands, we talking strains, we talking what you like. So let's get into the nitty gritty now. Shout out my boy Steve Cato, both of the Steves and everybody over at LegaSea Cannabis. They're a big sponsor for the show. They've been supporting us for a while now, so we love them, and we found out that you were doing a partnership with them, so that's why we wanted to make sure we brought you on the show. So tell us about that relationship with the Steves and LegaSea, and how that came about, and what is the plan going forward.
If I went into how probably like my love and respect for Steve Cato as a human being, beyond for just the person that he is, and met a lot of people in my day, bro. But somebody who mirrors of his word, and let's just say that. So anybody who doesn't know the backstory is that I've been in the cannabis game, started back in 2018 with a company called Pincana. My mom says if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Anyways, they fucked up big time, right? And the product was good. The first thing I ever came out with was a CBD topical, e-commerce, because the pain and wellness, and what do I believe that if you're gonna have a conversation about this plant and somebody's leery or whatever, the best way to get them is to say, hey, you got a sore somewhere, can I rub this stuff on you that won't get you high or whatever? Rub it on, and it's like, oh, how's your wrist? Is it sore? And what do you mean? Right? Yeah. So it's like, well, that's the plant. And so it starts conversation. So it was perfect, and I'd had flour and I'd had edibles and gotten into that. It's just unfortunate that powers that be are so fucking stupid over there that they don't know what they have and can't market it. Sorry, Mom. Anyways, so when my contract came up to be renewed in 2022, I said, no, bye. Because to me, like I said, the synergies of what I was promised and everything going through was not being fulfilled. And at the end of the day, the worst fucking thing as an addict of whatever else. You can't give me the product that fucking saves me and then take it away. Meaning production is the biggest thing. It's not about getting it this time or having it. It's always being able to have it.
Yeah.
Right? The worst thing you can do and no matter what they're struggling is to provide them hope and then take hope away.
Yeah, 100%.
So fuck Pincana for that, for all the people that had gotten onto the Darren Mccarty brand and were using it and whatever else. So I had to make that decision to step away. That was February of 2022. So it took over 2 years, almost 3 years, right? And for the last year of it, the work that Steve put in, because just like anything else, you live and you learn. And I had put myself in a position that wasn't fortuitous for me.
Yeah.
So without a guy like Steve Cato that would come to bat and fight for me and see that the synergies are there to move forward, there wasn't anybody else. I talked to 27 different people until I met Steve. And it was our synergies that connected of what LegaSea's all about. Everything that you said being and it comes from the compassion side.
Yeah, 100%.
So the visionary, I've said it before, Steve Cato is now my Steve Yzerman, right? I'm still doing DMAX shit. I'm just doing it over on LegaSea now, right? So you know what's coming through, but I have the team. I have I have the product, and it's from Steve down to every person that works at LegaSea is as big a part of this team because everything that goes into it.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So the synergies to that. So Steve fought hard, was able to get me out of that contract, and here we are today. So I think we launched in November, and big things coming. Because I think it's about doing it the right way. My big for me is that I'm ready to go, bro. I mean, I'm a road warrior. I mean, let's go, get it out and whatever. But there's plans in place so that what's the priority that I provide you a medicine that works that we can continue to provide. That's the number one is like with LegaSea Cannabis. It's funny because the LegaSea and what they do for the Reptilium, for what they've done for Randy, for what goes back into that. But to me, the LegaSea is the CY. It's the people. It's the people that are there every day, that are trimming, that are growing, that are making this medicine. So we're all in this together. I'm just a pretty face at the front, right? Like that's it. But so I look forward to conquering the state, to being where the product is, no matter if it's in the UP, no matter in the South, in the West, whatever. That's my job, is to show up and show out and have these conversations. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier. I think that the one thing, the synergies with Steve and I is not only the compassion and the fact that we're about the plant first, and he's the brains, so he's got to figure out that the money matters, right? but it's putting synergies, and it's really putting people together.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love what they're doing over there, and they got, like you said, they got a really good team, and the energy is right, and they're just doing it the right way.
What, and this will be like a sports analogy, and I use this, a lot of the times, and we see this with the Lions right now, right? We're all in bed with the Lions, but it's when the person beside you is more important to you than you are to yourself. And I get that vibe at LegaSea, right? 100%. Where it has to be that way. That's championship mentality. We see it, the football team. So it's taking those, and we had it with our Red Wing championship teams, and even to this day, the relationship that I have with the guys that I've won, who most of them work in the organization or whatever, but when we get together, it's just like we were back in the locker room in the 90s, bro. You get around your boys. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It's the same way. So I get the same vibe, and it's about where the one thing is what I've learned in this plan has taught me out of anything in life: patience and resilience. And if you live like the plant, You know, that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing, patience and resilience.
I want to know what can be expected from this partnership with LegaSea. What kind of products are you going to be putting out? You know, when can we see them come into the market? Where will we be able to buy them? Things like that. What can be expected?
Obviously, big questions. To get back out in the market, to establish, you know, the brand again, we're going to start with the flower. Obviously, our concentrate company, Unrivaled, is about to hit the market.
I've tried the pen.
Which
that
is
fire.
purple, dude. Purple Ice.
Yes, yes.
That's that's the Johnny and everything. So as you know, there's so much other like synergies to that. So I'm you know, whether it's infused pre-roll, whether it's distillate, it's not whatever is right for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing is like Darren Mccarty brand powered by LegaSea, where I tell everybody is that maybe it's not going to be in my brand, but check out the LegaSea because it might be there. Here's a prime example. Detroit Mints, which is a Cushman, our version, whatever, whatever like that. I always see that in the LegaSea brand that I have to get and whatever like that. So I make sure, because again, don't tell me what, tell me who. We're gonna get into the big thing again because it's important to me. It's important to Steve. Is that we will get back into the topical game.
Yeah.
You know, it's important for all my guys. You don't know this yet, but when you get over 50 and stuff like this, and there's a big need for stuff like that. Obviously, you know, edibles.
Yeah.
I have an idea because, and I've done it already. What I like, you know, because I'm big into the 1-to-1. I'm big into the CBD, CBN for sleep. I'm big into the THC, CBN for my military or the PTSD guys or concussions because it seems to work more. So, sky's the limit. The most important thing is to get the brand out. I know right now, like you said, Lives, Liberty, Madison Heights has it. The Greenhouse in Walled Lake has it. I know Sky Mints and Jars Cannabis about to do a big thing with them. So it's about getting it out and, like I said, establishing so people know where it is, and then as it comes in time, you know, whatever's best for the company.
Yeah.
You know, and so hopefully we're dabbling in everything.
Yeah, that's what I love to hear. Well, man, it has been a pleasure to have you on. You've been one of my favorite guests so far. Shout out to everybody else been on the show, but Darren just showed up today. He's having a good time. You could tell this has been dope. So is there anything you want to talk about, or, you know, anybody you want to shout out or send some love to before we get out of here?
No, I think it's real important to everybody out there is that to say is that, like, if you're struggling with anything, at least start a conversation. If it's something to, you know, to reach out and just start the conversation of having the option. I couldn't have gotten to this point of being 9 years sober without, you know, my caregiver, Brian Haas, and my right-hand man, Aaron Mallory, and Nick Antonucci, and guys like that. You know, big shout out to Jerry Millen at the Greenhouse, who it's his fault back in the 90s that I got involved in media because we used to do the Mac and Millen show. But he's been a great friend and like confidant. So and he's an integral part. Shout out to Peter Chin, who
shout out Pete, man.
So what you're seeing now it was Peter's call 3 years ago. When we had a conversation and I was getting away from Pinkana, and he was like, I think I know the guy but we'll figure it out. But it's like he's always like, you got to meet Steve. You and Steve need to meet each other. So without Peter, we wouldn't be here. But bottom line is, sky's the limit. And here's the one thing I want people to know, right? With the LegaSea brand, if you reach out to me on social medias or get a hold of me and tell me what you smoked and what you like, I can try to make sure, right, it's there, right? It's where you want to get it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the accessibility is a huge part, and that's what we're all about. So we're all in this together. I appreciate everybody who's come before me. I always say a shout out to the people that we could have saved if things were different, but it's about moving forward to make sure we don't lose anybody else.
1000%, man. Well, this has been the Loft 313 with Darren Mccarty. I'm your host, Felix, aka Felix the Don, aka Top 2 and Not 2, and we out.